In the headlines, Adamawa Governor of Intiri defects to APC. Court sends Malami wife, son back to prison. Maiduguri displaced person beg authorities, NGOs for food support. On a foreign scene, more than 100 charity workers killed in Sudan since start of civil war. Hello and welcome to the News Update on Trust TV. I am Idris Laya Baturi. Governor Ahmad Umaru Fintiri has officially left the People's Democratic Party (PDP) for the All Progressives Congress (APC). The announcement made earlier today marks a turning point in Adamawa politics. It adds to the wave of defections that has hit the PDP in recent months. Fintiri said he is moving to the APC alongside key political figures in the state, including cabinet members, political appointees, and elected local government chairmen. He explained that his decision is in the interest of Adamawa people and national unity. According to him, aligning with the federal government will help the state push its development agenda faster.
After wide consultation with a large spectrum of our people, we have resolved to politically align Adamawa State with the All Progressive Congress, APC. This alignment would enable Adamawa to effectively support and leverage the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President Ahmed Bola Tinubu, GCFR, which aims to transform the nation in critical sectors, including social welfare, infrastructure, housing, and inclusive economic development. The decision to leave the PDP and join the APC was not taken lightly. It was not driven by personal ambition nor by convenience. It was guided by one overriding consideration: the long-term stability, development, and prosperity of Adamawa State. Fellow students, you remain our most cherished partners. I want you to trust that this decision is in our best interest. Wherever we go from here, we are going as a collective with the required political strength and a number that confers value. We have structures everywhere. We are moving into APC with all the 226 wards, 21 local government areas, all elected and appointed members, and indeed our energy and our political machinery to confer benefit to our state, the nation, and our people. I therefore call on all our supporters to fit in. Register massively in the APC and gear up for a future that is assured.
An Oyo State High Court sitting in Ibadan has validated the 2025 elective convention of the People's Democratic Party, which produced Kabiru Turaki as the substantive national chairman of the party. The reports.
Justice Adiron Akintola delivered the ruling on Friday while deciding an amended originating summons filed by Musibao Akintumbi's son on behalf of the claimant Folahon Malomo Adelabi in suit number 1/1336/2025. In its judgment, the court granted all 13 reliefs sought in the summons, affirming that the convention conducted by the party leadership complied with the provisions of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the Electoral Act. The court therefore upheld the validity of the convention that produced Dr. Kabir Turaki as the chairman of the party.
The party seeking to be joined, they came to court. They sought for an adjournment, which we oppose. And they equally filed one application to set aside the proceeding of 2050 of this month, which they participated actively. And we told the court that that is a tactic to arrest the judgment of the court, which is unknown to our law. So the court agreed with us, and the court proceeded to deliver its ruling and judgment. The ruling is a result of the application to stay further proceedings, which the court refused because that was first taken. Then the court now proceeded to the judgment. And you've heard the judgment. The judgment is very clear. The court said it loud and clear that the convention held on the 15th and 16th was legally held, valid and proper. And that since it was held pursuant to order of court, and INEC was here when that order was made, INEC, all authorities are bound to give effect to that convention, including INEC. So that is very clear in the judgment. So there is no doubt about that.
All requirements that was required from the PDP to the INEC were already put in place. 21 days notice as required by the Electoral Act was served on INEC, and all the states where congresses were supposed to be held, they were held, and the report of same were served on the INEC. And that is why the court has now come to say that the convention was validly held. Remember that this convention was held based on the order of the court, which was interim earlier. The effect of this now is that whatever, they will now have a final judgment that validates that convention that was held at that time.
Once we have achieved victory in this judgment, I think we have to continue to praise the rule of law. Because that is the last hope of anybody that feels aggrieved. The matter has been well judged, and the verdict of the court is very clear that the convention is valid and well did. So I thank God that we achieved the victory.
The court also dismissed the motion for stay of proceedings and suspension of ruling filed by Sunday Ibrahim San on behalf of Austin Owanchukwu and two others. Justice Ladira Kitola ruled that the application lacked merits and consequently dismissed it.
A federal high court in Abuja has ordered the remand of former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, his wife, Asaba Bashir, and their son, Abubakar Abdulaziz Malami, in correctional facilities, pending the determination of their bail applications. The order was given by Justice Joyce Abdul Malik of the Federal High Court sitting in Abuja on Friday. The court directed that Malami and his son be remanded at the Kuje Correctional Center, while his wife was ordered to be held at the Suleja Medium Security Custodial Center. The trial were rearranged by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC on an amended 16-count charge bordering on conspiracy, procuring, disguising, concealing and laundering proceeds of unlawful activities. The rearrangement followed the reassignment of the case from Justice Emeka Nwete to Justice Abdul Malik at the Federal High Court in Abuja. According to the EFCC, the charges involve alleged money laundering and unlawful acquisition of assets amounting to more than 8 trillion naira. The court ordered that the defendant remain in custody until their bail applications are heard and determined. Justice Hussaini Belgore of the Federal Capital Territory High Court has withdrawn from the fundamental rights enforcement suit filed by former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai citing an impending leave. The judge returned the case file to the Federal Capital Territory High Court Chief Judge for reassignment to another judge. The suit challenges alleged violations of El-Rufai's fundamental rights, including claims linked to the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, and the Department of State Services. El-Rufai also cited the alleged invasion of his Abuja residence as part of the case. Following Justice Belgore's withdrawal, proceedings have been put on hold pending a reassignment of the matter to another judge. Regulators overseeing dispatch riders in the Federal Capital Territory say their focus is safety and order on Abuja's roads, not revenue collections. This comes as the number of riders continue to grow, becoming a key part of daily life for business and residents. Habibat Ajayi has more.
From food deliveries to online orders, dispatch riders have become part of Abuja's daily routine, but their rising numbers are also raising safety concerns. Some road users accuse riders of reckless driving, weaving through traffic, and ignoring traffic lights. In some cases, crashes are followed. Industry stakeholders now want tighter regulation. They are calling for structured training, proper licensing, visible company identification, and even dedicated lanes to cut down accidents. In the FCT, regulation falls mainly under the Directorate of Road Traffic Services, the RTS, also known as the VIO. The agency handles registration, licensing, training, and enforcement. But the Assistant Director of the FCT DRTS says enforcement has been restricted by a court order preventing the agency from operating on major highways.
Between policy, particular policy, and implementation of that policy, there's a bridge. And that bridge is the enforcement. What makes any policy work is the enforcement of that policy. If there are rules, if there are regulations, and there are policies, and there is no enforcement strategy, there's nothing anybody can do about it. We have challenges with our regulations. We know we have, the court order, but it's a court order, and it must be obeyed. But while we are obeying it, this is just one sector we're talking about. That's delivery, motorcycle, business we're talking about. We, especially for me, that I'm supposed to, to oversee that department. It's like every day for me, like, what am I doing? As an organization, we're looking at what are we doing? And it's a pain in our heart that things are going wrong and there's nothing we can do about it. And the truth of the matter is, when people do things and they can go away with it, they keep doing it and it keeps increasing. They keep bringing it up in different dimensions. I am telling you that when I travel to the work, I can only do is I'll take picture.
Riders who spoke to Trust Television say they play a major role in keeping Abuja's economy moving. They argue that not every accident involved a dispatch rider is caused by speeding, and they want fair treatment.
The only organization that normally do that before is VIO and sometimes road safety. Because if you want to get like place number, for example, they will ask you if you have experience in riding. And they will ask you about the road signs to know if you have knowledge about the road and how to ride. And secondly, there are some people, as I said before, there are some people that ride for companies. Before they employ you as a rider for them, you have to undergo training. You have to undergo some tests before they can satisfy you as a rider for them. So those kind of companies, they normally train their riders. In as much as they train riders, but there are some people, when they have the money or they have the means of getting bike on their own, they can get the bike, learn it, and enter road on their own.
You see, like this bike, not that we drive roughly, but if it happens, they will just say, yeah, it's bike. That is how they used to do. And that is not how we are very careful, because if you look now, if you see moto, keke, all those people, if they have accident, at least they have something that will cover them. But we bike, nothing. So if you have accident, you see that the wounds, the bruises and every other thing, your bike will even condemn, because you jamming moto and you are just on the air, like nothing is covering you. So we are always being careful. And if you see, if accident occur, nobody comes to our rescue. It's still we riders that will still come and help the person, take him to hospital and do one or two things.
The state postal manager for the FCT, Tijani Bala, says agencies still carrying out clampdowns on errant riders to enforce compliance, including proper handling of food and sensitive deliveries.
For you to accept item from a customer to deliver, you must comply with the rules of the game, and that's where NIPOs come in. It is also that bike that we are using, that motorcycle that we are using for last mile delivery should also be branded in the color of your company that you have registered. So if you don't do that, and we see just ordinary motorcycle on the road doing courier businesses, so we are bound by law to arrest you and then collect your motorcycle, impound your motorcycle, and then take it into custody.
Despite the legal and operational challenges, regulators insist the goal is simple: safer roads and proper standards, not money-making. They are now urging stronger collaboration among agencies to bring order to a fast-growing sector that many residents now rely on every day. Habibat Ajayi, Trust TV News, Abuja.
5 persons, including children, have been killed while 3 others sustained severe injuries. Fresh attack on Nche-Shuwe-Rishi community in Bassa local government area. Sources said the incident occurred on Thursday night, throwing residents into panic and prompting calls from community leaders for urgent intervention by security agencies to prevent further breakdown of law and order. Eyewitness accounts indicate that the gunmen stormed the community at about 10 p.m. and began shooting sporadically. Youth leader and former Secretary General of the Irigwe Development Association, Danjuma Auta, confirmed the incident to journalists in Jos on Friday. According to him, the injured victims have been rushed to a medical facility for treatment. He also urged residents to remain calm and vigilant. However, the police public relations officer of the Plateau State Police Command, Alfred Alabo, had not responded to calls or text messages seeking official confirmation as of the time of filing these reports. Operatives of the Department of State Services DSS have arrested Shafiu Usman, the suspected mastermind of the December 14, 2025 attack on Ekwa Church in Ayutoro, Kogi State, where about 20 worshippers were abducted. Security forces say he was arrested at a hideout in Gombe State. During the interrogation, he reportedly confessed to the church attack and other kidnapping and banditry in Niger, Kwara, and Kogi states. Osman also admitted working with notorious bandit Ibrahim Dengi Batijo, who allegedly supplied him with arms and ammunition. The source added that the suspect remains in DSS custody, awaiting arraignment. This is the news update on Trust TV. Coming up after the break. Maiduguri displaced persons beg authorities, NGOs for food support. More news when we return. Do stay with us. Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is the news update on Trust TV. Let's take a look at our top stories again. Adamawa Governor Fintiri defects to APC. And court sends Malami wife, son back to prison. Now moving on to more stories. Internally displaced persons, IDPs in Maiduguri, are calling on the government and non-governmental organizations to provide food support to help them cope with the hardship during the Ramadan fasts. Trust TV's Bitrus Korotsi reports.
El Maskin IDP camp is one of the few informal settlements in Maiduguri. It's home to families displaced by the Boko Haram insurgency many years ago. Residents say observing Ramadan has become difficult due to high food prices and lack of basic support. As dawn approaches, Yagana Isa prepares millet flour for her family's meal to break the fast. The mother of 5 says they have not received food aid from the government or NGOs for years. She adds that the rising cost of food has made life even harder. We heard that food was shared in town, but we have not received anything, not even seasoned cubes. Since the fasting started, we have not gotten any support. Before, some NGOs helped us, but that has stopped. My children go into town to look for small jobs so we can survive. We have completed 1 week of fasting without any support from the government or anyone. We are begging them to have compassion on us because food is very expensive. A measure of sugar now sells for over 3,000 naira. We were told we would be resettled, but that has not happened. My hometown is still unsafe and not fit for people to live in. I am from Krenoa near Chad. Residents of the camp are appealing for either relocation or food assistance to help them through the holy month. I survive by selling firewood, but I don't make much. What I earn is not enough for my family. We are suffering and asking the government to please help us. If we get small support during Ramadan, we will be grateful. We used to farm, but because of the crisis, we can no longer access our farms. Some non-governmental organizations say they are working on long-term solutions to improve food security for vulnerable communities.
The Emergency and Resilience Plan covers 3 years and is a plan in country. So what does FAO plan to do? How does it plan to assist populations and the government in Nigeria over the course of 3 years? But it is connected, it is a contribution to a global appeal on emergencies and resilience. FAO's global appeal is a strategy over 3 years of how we plan to help reduce acute hunger across the world in many other countries, but Nigeria being really one of our top priority countries.
Meanwhile, the state government launched food distribution for more than 300,000 vulnerable people in conflict-affected communities. Residents of El Maskin camp hope they will not be forgotten as they wait for support. Bitrus Kuruti, Trust TV News, Maiduguri.
A PDP aspirant, Benga Hashim, has rejected claims that the APC recorded sweeping victories in the recent FCT area council elections. Speaking at the PDP stakeholders meeting in Abuja, Hashim described the outcome as a political illusion. He argued that several candidates who won on the APC platform were originally PDP members who defected under pressure, creating what he called a misleading picture of APC dominance in the territory. Hashim insisted that the FCT remains a PDP stronghold and warned party members against accepting what he termed manufactured narratives about the election results. As Ramadan continues, Muslims across the world observe the daily fast from dawn to sunset. It is a month of prayer, reflection, and discipline. But long hours without food and water also demand careful attention on health. The reports.
At sunset, families gather to break their fasts in moments of gratitude and unity. Yet, experts say what and how to eat during this period matters. To better understand how to stay healthy while fasting, we spoke with a nutrition specialist.
If you want to break the fasting, you ought to go for something in liquid form, not hard foods, because your GIT is already closed to some extent. After staying for a long period of fasting, you use water. Something like watermelon smoothies will be very okay for you. While you'll be doing this gradually, the system will be opening up. Then you now make some like soups that will be water in water form to make sure that the system is being rehydrated and the GIT, all the villi and rest of them, be responding and positively when you start eating further.
Dr. Cosmas advised Muslims to break their fast with balanced meals, stay hydrated and avoid overeating, warning that heavy meals at night can strain the body. Religious leader also stressed moderation.
The Prophet ﷺ said that ما ملأ ابن آدم وعاء خيرا شرا من بطنه. There is no evil bag that a person will load than his belly. So if it is must that you fill your belly, you should divide it into 3. The first part for food and the second for drink. and the third for easy breathing. So this is a method of dieting that the Prophet ﷺ encourages Muslims to be healthy. If you can practice this, even in the month of Ramadan, you will break your fast with the intent of consuming what will not prevent you from easy breathing. That is by consuming a little.
Sheikh Nur Khalid said, healthy habits should not end with Ramadan. He noted that excessive consumption often linked to preventable health problems. Dr. Cosmas urged government authorities to strengthen policies that improve food access and overall public health.
I think to get along with this dimension, so that you pay all of us Nigerians, not just our money and gather stuff you eat and tell us that they're doing fasting for God. Why are you stocking our money in other countries and people are suffering? Is it fasting you are doing? They're not doing fasting. But you can fast by change. For change is constant. For one of them that doing all these things change. Then means that the fasting have achieved the positive products.
Ramadan is a time of spiritual growth. Experts say maintaining physical health allows the faithful to fully observe the month with strength and focus. Amina Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Electricity consumers across Nigeria have complained of worsening power supply over the past 3 months. Presidents say electricity supply has declined in major cities, a situation operators blame on gas shortages, affecting generation companies and low water levels of hydroelectric dams. The challenges have reduced power distribution by electricity companies and affected the stability of the national grid. And away from Nigeria, more than 100 charity kitchen workers have been killed since the start of the civil war in Sudan, as the humanitarian crisis continues to worsen. According to a report from Associated Press and the Aid Workers Security Database, many of the victims were volunteers running community kitchens that provide food to civilians trapped in conflict zones. And with that, we've come to the end of the news update on Trust TV. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and also watch us live on YouTube for more news programs and documentaries. I am Idris Daye Bature, thanking you for being with us. Good evening.